examining human life and the world in general. In line with the conference theme, I attempt to illustrate the relationship between the study of language or simply being discerning of the richness as well as the power of language on the one hand, and on the other hand, efforts of subjecting our historical and cultural values, particularly as embodied by the verbal arts, literature in particular. Two, in relation to philosophical rethinking and interdisciplinary reflection. I hope to demonstrate this briefly with Ilokano, but while I draw mainly from my language, I hope to make resonances with the other languages as well as your papers and speak with the disciplines, and thus I will try to be less technical as possible. Why language? Simply because I believe that it is through language mainly that we come to terms with the world and our humanity. So first, may I note interdisciplinarity, of which I borrow from Joe Moran 2010 in relation to the study of language. The study of language and its products such as literature may be said to be essentially interdisciplinary. You may recall, for instance, that linguistics paired up with the other fields and subfields or areas came to be, such as neurolinguistics, anthropological linguistics or linguistic anthropology. Another example, semantics includes the study of culture. So almost always, when you study language, you need another discipline, not only linguistics. On another note, the choice of language in scholarly work is itself part and parcel of interdisciplinary. Okay. The simplest example there is, if you choose to use Ilokano in writing your article, that is itself interdisciplinary, because that language will inform or shape the way you look at things, even your methodology. So before I proceed, may I usher you to the crucial role of language again, not only in articulating our thoughts, but also in our lives in general, and that the study of language is not exclusive to linguists and language scholars. I would like to point to a couple of sectors of society to illustrate the importance of language: the legal and judicial system, and the medical sectors. Just a few anecdotes. First, on the judicial sector. In the conclusion of the article titled "Expanding the Role of Philippine Languages in the Legal System" by Isabelo Martin, 2012, the implication of the power of language and the political role of language in the judicial system is related with the social, cultural, and economic strata, such that until such time, she said, that the language of the Philippine legal system becomes truly transparent and genuinely available to all Filipinos, justice in the Philippines will remain elitist and elusive. This is so because, I quote her, the so-called language barrier in the Philippine legal system is symptomatic of deeper issues of language and power that have beset other sectors such as education, trade, and industry. But while the education sector, through the newly implemented MTBMLA policy of DepEd, has begun to seriously address the marginalization brought about by the English language, the legal system remains a stronghold of English. Laws and court decisions are largely written in English, and these are rarely translated into Filipino. And while code switching may sometimes be observed in courtrooms, English alone is used for records. End quote. Cognizant of the crucial role of language in the judicial system, based on the persisting condition as may be reflected by court proceedings in the Philippines, which affect the dispensation of justice, the Supreme Court, through the National Forum on Liberty and Prosperity in 2016, resolved to adapt the language of the law to that of the common people to enhance their access to justice. Subsequently, the Supreme Court created the Committee on Linguistic Concerns. Another aspect is medicine. Consider communication in medical research. Have you encountered titles of medical research like this? Endoscopic and clinical evaluation of early late post-tracheostomy patients in Baguio General Hospital, an observational prospective cross-sectional study, and an informed consent that reads something like this. A scope would be used to visualize the voice box. The scope is inserted into the nostril and passed down until the voice box is visualized. Pictures of the voice box would be taken. It is assured that pictures of the patient's face or other areas of the body would not be included in the data collection. Endoscopic evaluation would be done immediately after tracheostomy and 2 weeks after tracheostomy, etc. That is why clinical committees of medical research boards require information and consent forms in local languages. For example, Shakni Dr. So-and-so, Presidente the Department of Orthohinoradiology, Head and Neck Surgery. Awisin kayo ang makipaset iti panagadal ko ang napauluan the Association of Thyroid Imaging Reporting and Data System, TIRADS, with fine needle aspiration, biopsy, and final histopathology result of thyroidectomy patients and so on and so forth. Panggap daytoy ang panagadan ang maamuan ti relasyon ti scoring ti thyroid imaging reporting and data system wenno ti makunkuna ang TRADS. Iti resulta ti fine needle aspiration biopsy ken final histopathology kadagiti pasyente nga daan iti bukol ang makunkuna ang thyroid nodule. Sakbay ang makipaset kayo iti daytoy panagadan, maipalawag kada kayo na saya at ti proseso ken pamayan ti panagadan. Kalpasan ti daytoy, makiddaw kada kayo ti pagmalupos yu. So you have a better grasp of what you will undergo before giving your consent to participate in studies like this. Let's bring the matter closer to the level of the personal in our social life Take the case of weather and direction in Ilokano vocabulary. In Ilokano, east is Daya, west is Laod. Believed to be from Sanskrit, Raya and Laod, etc. The fossilization of these derived words, Daya and Laod, made it permanent lexemes for East and West respectively, and thus, I suppose, the creation of other terms like Anarakar to name the rays of the sun, Taaw to name the ocean. Nevertheless, the concepts embodied in the Ilocano sense of direction are still present in the words. Dormant they may be, or in the words of Carl Jung, in the subconscious. The point being, naming is one way to make sense of our world. Through language, we interpret things, situations, occurrences, and ourselves when we try to understand our surroundings. Different cultures must have generated different sets of lexicon applicable to and arising from their specific experience of this inevitable phenomenon. This complex process of encoding human sensibility in language provides us with a venue to analyze concepts that are explicitly or implicitly verbalized in words. In Ilocano, the geographic directions north and south are associated with the wind. North is Amianan, which is derived from Amian, which means north wind or the northeasterly wind, and south is Abagatan, which is derived from Abagat, meaning south wind. Both are cognates to the Tagalog Amihan and Habagat. In Father Van Overberg's dictionary, Amianan is under the entry Amian, wherein a related entry Abagat is noted, and the reference to Abagatan is under the entry Abagat, and so on. In the 1884 Vocabulario de la Lengua Ilocana by Andres Caro, which is an edited version of Mariano Caro's Vocabulario de la Lengua Ilocana, published in 1849, the entry abagat is derived from the word, or it's a derivation of abagatan, is identified. However, there is an entry amian. The word amianan does not exist. Amian and abagat obviously are cognates of the Tagalog. However, unlike Ilokano, Hilaga and Timog are not directly related to the wind. Amihan and Habagat, linguistically speaking. The relationship between the terms used to refer to the wind and the directions in Ilocano indicates a particular worldview. We can surmise that even before the discovery in 1572 by the Spanish conquistador Juan de Salcedo of what will later be founded as Provincia de Ilocos, the native inhabitants, then later called Ilocanos, have indeed long established their ilis in the area, long enough that they have produced a vocabulary to decode their perceptions of nature and natural phenomena, which is based on geography. The generic term for both wind and air in Ilocano is angin. As demonstrated in the 1849 Vocabulario, the Ilocano schema with regards to the wind includes a set of vocabulary from Alikubeng to Arabuob, Dapat, Gunes, Lintugaw, Pagayupoy, Palayupoy, Panes, Payaw, Puluoy, Puyupoy. And there are differences and nuances of each. Other words in this lexicon include alipugpog or alawig, whirlwind or small tornado, hurricane or typhoon, and alikuno, small whirlpool. Tingnan nyo kung gaano ka-specific, no? Kung papalaki, yung whirlpool, mas malaking whirlpool, iba din yung tawag. This lexicon encodes the Ilocano experience concerning natural phenomena, specifically those related to the wind. The keen observation of the differences of types of wind, including the northern wind, the southern wind, means that there exist such specificities in the natural world which are present in the Ilocos and are therefore important in Ilocano life. Equally important and connected to wind is rain, tudo, in Ilocano. The Ilocano vocabulary for rain includes, from order of intensity, Arimukamok, Arbis, Bayakabak, up to Bagyo. The rainy season is referred to as Panagtutudo, which is also called Nap-Nap, the steady rains caused by a depression which would last for days. In Tagalog, that is the Shamsham. When it rains ceaselessly for days but does not pour as harsh as Bayakaba, we call it Nap-Nap. Ang Nap-Nap-Nap is not a statement of matter of fact, no matter how it sounds as a declarative sentence, grammatically speaking. On the one hand, the utterance is distinguished from when you say, Agtutudo, it is raining. But on the other hand, Agnap-nap-nap is a kind of speech act. If it has been raining, I would say, Agnap-nap-nap, and imply that it would not cause us harm. And that it is even something to be thankful for, especially in Ilocos, where generally speaking, the land where we till our fields is mostly arid. And so that is why Bayakaba is not at all destructive in the Ilocano sensibility, for in Ilocano we ask for it, we verbalize it through prayer. Ibayakabak mong kanin nga ako, please Lord, give us heavy rain. But when your mother says, Agtudon, here comes the rain, and of course, that is a speech act, better get inside the house or else. When tudo pours with strong winds or napigsa na hangin, accompanied by lightning or kimat, and thunder, kuruod, it is storm or typhoon, bagyo. And when a neighbor says, Agbagyon, your guess is as good as mine. How is this in the case of culture. The Ilocano words for culture, as recorded by Akawili in 2011, are kultura and kanawidan. The word cultura is from Spanish word cultura, but this has taken root in the Ilocano consciousness as it may be shown to have been recorded by Gelade in 1993, but not recorded in 1849 by Caro. The indigenous word is kanawidan, which is a contraction of kaanawidan, the root word of which is annawid, meaning custom, mores, habit, convention. In Tagalog, nakagawian or kinagawian, the root word gawi. With this, we can surmise that there exists in Ilocano mind a consciousness and verbalized knowledge of the concept we call culture, beyond what the dictionary definition by Gelade, which seems to suggest in the entry annawid that the term does not exactly refer to culture in the strict sense of the term culture as we know it today. In other words, it seems that for Gelade, the term culture more appropriately translates to the borrowed word kultura, such that kanawidan can only capture the nuances of the terms custom, mores, habit, convention, etc., almost suggesting non-equivalence. Note that the entry kultura also does not refer in any way to kanawidan. Furthermore, Agkawili recorded the term kultura prior to kanawidan for the entry culture in his English Ilocano dictionary. Does this mean that the term culture, kultura, and kanawidan are mutually exclusive, at least to a certain extent? On the contrary, I have noticed that in actual usage, the use of the word kanawidan in both written and spoken discourses occur in formal contexts to refer to culture. To a certain extent, I think that the term kanawidan has even become archaic, and the word kultura has taken its place even in formal discourse. I haven't heard recently any priest use the term kanawidan. They use the term kultura, and sermons are formal discourses. When was the last time you heard the statement, isot na kay kanawidan na? Tsaka kanawidan ti magnadita left. So it's more of a custom rather than culture. On another note, the nuances of the words customs, mores, habits, conventions, etc. are also contained in other Ilocano words such as ugali, kaugalian, nakaisanayan, nakairuaman, gagangay na aramid, even the borrowed costumbre. Because words, of course, undergo semantic changes in time. While we have the ability to create knowledge through language, language has the capability to form knowledge. This is done, the formation of knowledge, by speakers of a language through their use of language. The highest form of which is, sorry for the bias, literature, or the verbal arts. Language is used at its utmost potential in literature. Which brings me to my next point. Literature, critical thought, and the study of language. For this next point, I would like to demonstrate the importance of knowing the role of language in critical thought by relating to you a brief study on the concept of nation in Ilocano literature using Filipino as a medium of my article. It is a study of the bayan and bansa in Ilocano poetry. Merong interesanteng aspekto ng panitikang Ilocano kung saan pawang magkaiba at iisa ang bayan, town, municipality, at bansa or country or nation. Sa Ilocano poetry, ang imahinasyon sa nation or bansa or pagilian ay nakaugat sa pag-unawa sa bayan o ili at ang pagkabuo nito ay nakabatay sa kahingian ng waya-waya o kalayaan. Before you sleep, I'd like you to take a look at another diagram. Mahilig kami ni Ma'am Beth sa diagram. Venn diagram. Okay. Sa unang diagram, ang sinungunang konsepto ng ili ay nakabatay sa relasyon ng udong at away. Away in the peripheries and the udong in the center. So, ada ti taga-udong at ti taga-away. Ti taga-away mapanumudong. Sorry for the non-native speakers. For the second diagram, merong colonial na konsepto ng ili. Okay. Where the place of the udong was taken by the term ili. Okay. So, hindi na udong yung nasa center, but ili. Okay. And the away is still in the periphery or in the margin. And the Spaniards called it barrio. Okay. So it's the relation between the ili and the away, the center and the margin. So from the first diagram, mapan umudong in the colonial framework, mapan jay ili. And the third diagram, the concept of ili sa balangtas ng bansa in the framework of the nation or country. Okay? So the ili is inside the country, Pilipinas o bansa. Okay? The ili is similar to the concept of bayan of the Tagalog. Okay? The fourth diagram is the linguistic configuration of Pagilian. Okay? There is an ili separate from the Pagilian, which is in the making. Okay. Linguistically, morphologically speaking, Pagilian is in the ili in the making. Another diagram is the configuration of Pagilian in the framework of the nation. So Filipinas as a Pagilian is the larger community. Nasa loob ito, nasa loob ng Pagilian yung ili. Another configuration, the relationship between ili and Pagilian, they are concentric circles. Okay. The Pagilian still being in progress, not complete, but ili is concrete and complete. Another configuration is a Venn diagram, where the Pagilian and the ili share commonalities and similarities. But still, the difference is that the Pagilian is still not complete, in progress, in the making, and the ili is concrete and complete. So sa aking observation sa Ilokano literature, higit na maraming pagkakataon na nagagamit ang salitang Pagilian noong unang kalahati ng siglo 20. Marahil, bunsod ito ng katunayan sa mga panahon niyon ay nagsisimula pa lamang ang pagbuo ng bansa. Samantala, sa nalalabing mga taon ng siglo 20 hanggang sa kasalukuyan, ang paggamit sa ili at Pagilian ay maaaring makapagbigay ng impresyon na ang bayan at ili at ang bansa at Pagilian ay iisa, subalit magkaiba. Nakapaloob ang bayan at ang bansa bilang mga kasangkapang pampanitikan o imahen o dalumat sa sistemang metaphorical na nakaangkla sa cultural, linguistiko at historical na konteksto. Kagaya halimbawa ng tulang ito. Sa tulang ito, sa dulo, sabi niya, sinalin ko po sa Tagalog, may kirot ang mga taggutom at paghingi nitong namimighating bayan at bansa. So this is suggesting that the bayan and the bansa are different entities. Ayon sa diksyonaryo ni Gelade, ang ili ay town, municipality, municipal district. Samantalang ang Pagilian ay country, fatherland, or native land. Sa kabila ng semantic overlapping, lalo na kung titignan pa ang derivative nitong umili, kailyan, agkailyan, sangkailyan, kapagilyan, sangkapagilyan, nailyan, mangili, ipaili, iling-ili, agpaili, etc., merong litaw na conceptual distinction ang dalawang salita. Dahil may magkaibang katawagan, maaaring ipagpalagay na kahit papaano ay malinaw ang pagkakaiba ng ili at pagilian sa kamalayang Ilokano. Isa pang halimbawa ay ang tula ni PNPRS nagangganait. Sabi niya, nayanakak iti iling at day tinagbaitan, dagiti pinagayan bangkag kataltalunan. Pinanganak ako sa bayang nasa pagitan ng mga palayan, bukid, kabukiran. Ano kaya ang tinutukoy niyang ili dito? At bakit ko sinalin yung bilang bayan, hindi bansa? Okay. Clearly, if you refer to a scenario or scene na nasa pagitan ng mga palayan, bukid at kabukiran, you might not be referring to the Philippines as a country or as an archipelago, but you are referring to a specific town in Ilocos, because that is a familiar scene in Ilocos. So the ili is the ili, the bayan, okay, and not the country. Sa literal na antas, ang ili na tinutukoy sa tulang ito ay ang bayan o munisipalidad, ang political na unit na nakapaloob sa country o bansang Pilipinas. May papakita pa rin yan doon sa susunod niyang parte. Halimbawa, sabi niya, nilisan ko ang kayumangging lupa. Dagiti kakailyap, sabi niya, ang aking mga kababayan nawala na sa matagal na panahon sa pamamalagi ko dito sa malayo. So in that part, while in the earlier part he's referring to the bayan, sino kaya ang tinutukoy niyang kakailyan? Yung kababayan na Ilokano o yung kababayan na mga Pilipino? Okay. So merong blurring, no? Nagdi-dissolve yung distinction ng ili at pagilian pag ginagamit sa poetry. Ayon kay Akawili, sa kanyang sanaysay na pinamagatang ang ili at pagilian at umili at makipag-ili, pwedeng ilarawan ang isang ili na pinapalibutan ng mga away. Away, Mario, hindi fight. Sa palibot ng ili ay mga away na base sa kanilang resources ay gumaganap na pook ng produksyong economic. Marami sa mga away ang taglay ang pangalan ng kanilang pinoproduce or resources. Halimbawa, kabangaan para sa mga banga, palayo. Kaya bimanga, mga banga. Kasilian, kaya kasili. Marami sigurong sili doon. Kamanggaan, maraming mangga. Kasubidwan, subido, dun sa Pangasinan, kasi pag-aari ng mga subido. Dali, kabuluan, maraming buho, at maraming pang iba, kaparyaan. Sa politico-geographic na konteksto, ito ang mga kasalukuyang barangay. Pero doon sa pre-colonial, kung maalala niyo yung diagram natin, sa pre-colonial, itong mga tawag na ito yung mga ili. At nagbago noong naging kolonya. Sa colonial experience, binago yung construction ng ili. Naging mga baryo na ito. Until such time, of course, that they become the barangays. So if we talk about the ili in the pre-colonial Ilocano sense, it is very much similar to the ili of the Cordillera that until now we still call the villages. Kung susuriin ang pagkakabuo ng salitang pagilian, binubuo ng mga panlaping pa at an at ng salitang ugat na ili. Ibig sabihin, binubuo na ili. Sa conventional na morphology ng Ilocano.